Hi, and welcome back to our Connect the Dots series. I'm Doug Kimball, the Chief Marketing Officer of Ontotext, and we're going to be talking again about various data management activities and how knowledge graphs play into those. I'm joined again by my awesome friend Sumit Pal, a former Gartner analyst, but also he's currently our Strategic Technology Director. So we need a lot of things we're going to cover, so Sumit, let's just jump right in. Today we're talking about large language models. We've had a few conversations around that, but when we look at knowledge graphs, how do knowledge graphs, how do they bring value and why are they important for LLM or large language initiatives?
Yeah, we all know that LLMs learn patterns and relationships from large volumes of structured data. But LLMs run into limitations and challenges. They are essentially black box models that suffer from hallucinations, and they are sometimes unreliable, and they don't have provenance. They also suffer from traceability. Where are they getting their answers from? Understanding why they are giving that answers. That brings up the whole question about trust. LLMs are, a lot of times not trustworthy. They're good for compressing and summarizing information, but when you are using them for data management applications, you need trust, reliability, especially in production environments. And that is where knowledge graphs offer deterministic ways of providing meaning to the data, where you bring in knowledge graphs to help you, for example, bring in your own private data for doing semantic search along with LLMs, building chatbots, building customer support questions with your own data, and most importantly, providing you governance and provenance. We at Ontotext have built our own knowledge graph, and we have implemented and we have integrated it with LLMs. And when we ask it a question, we provide through the knowledge graph where that answer is coming from. That traceability provenance becomes so very important, unlike LLMs, which do not tell you where you get your answers from. So that's how I would say it.
Makes sense. I mean, when they first exploded on the scene, it was very exciting. People are asking questions that they really do seem like a magic black box. You ask a question, you get information back. But to your point, is it accurate? Can you trust it? Do we have the access that's going to make the most important? How do you update that? And clearly, knowledge graphs have a play there. How do they to flip that, keep that going? How does a knowledge graph then enhance a large language model, but also a local language model? So somebody wants to use a language model within their own organization. How does a knowledge graph support that kind of initiative?
Yeah, a good question. And that is where the idea of graph rags comes in, right? Which we discussed in one of our previous video series. And it must be clearly understood that LLMs and knowledge graphs are not competing technologies, but they are complementing and they are synergizing. Your own data can be converted into knowledge graphs, and then that knowledge graph can be used to build a graph rag-based approach to questioning your LLMs, enhancing the prompts with the context that is coming from the knowledge graph. That is how knowledge graphs could enhance the LLMs. Also, as we discussed earlier, it provides traceability. Now you can clearly understand where the answer is coming from. And that is all part of what we call as the grounding context coming from for the LLMs. Because if an organization wants to train an LLM that is relevant to their own domain, doing fine-tuning is very expensive, and that's why RAG has become such a rage now. And especially with graph RAG, you can also do, you can get trusted answers with provenance and governance. Especially important when you're building chatbot type applications, which are from customer support and which needs semantic searching, semantic grounding context.
I think one of the things that you said that really sticks out to me is that the fine-grained access, where we can do more user-based access for local language models, so that a user doesn't have access to payroll or to all the detailed records. You can help to define that using the graph rag approach, if I understand that properly. So now let's flip the switch again. Large language models they're pretty cool, and we know that knowledge graphs have always been seen as these are hard to build because of the ontologies, etc. But how can a large language model help to improve a knowledge graph?
Yeah, very good question again. And the way I would answer it is, I think LLMs are a blessing for knowledge graphs, and they could trigger this golden era of knowledge graphs, because building knowledge graphs have always been quite challenging. And this is where LLMs, with their capabilities of doing entity extraction from unstructured data, relation extraction, these capabilities of LLM can help to quickly identify the entities, the relationships amongst these entities, and help to build knowledge graphs on unstructured data, and thus help you to lower your your extraction costs, your time to market. And LLMs can optimize a lot of these tasks as well, like if you want to update your taxonomies or classify the entities and extract new properties about your entities. However, one thing has to be understood is LLMs are still not good for doing entity linking. Entity linking is when you link a single entity from one document to the other and to identify that they are same. We at Ontotext have experimented with summarizing of results. When you query a knowledge graph and you get back the results, with LLMs, you can quickly summarize the results. You can also explain complex queries that are being given to knowledge graphs and understand them in a more human way to understand what is the query about. We at Ontotext have also experimented, and we have products, demonstrators that could be used across any domain, where you can pass an ontology as a prompt to the LLM to augment your knowledge graph, because ontologies and taxonomies change all the time. So those would be some of the areas where I would think LLMs are a great boon to knowledge graphs.
Great. And just to help, I guess, myself, make sure I'm clear on the audience, really more than anything else, entity linking is something that we hear, we talk a lot about. The way I look at that from extracting information across multiple document sources is instances of Sumit Pal in this document, instances of Sumit in this document, instance of ex-Gartner analyst Sumit Pal. We're bringing all those together to link those so we know that's the same common record, for lack of a better term. Is that a good way to say that? Is a better example?
Exactly.
Okay. All right, cool. So hopefully this helped, you give you a better understanding of where knowledge graphs and LLMs play. One of the things we'd love to talk to you about is how we're using our own solution, our own Ontotext knowledge graph, to do the similar kind of thing with entity linking and using a ChatGPT plugin to look at our own data. I know, Sumit, you've done a number of demos. There's a lot of client interest around this. Anything you'd want to add to that?
No, I think that is all about it. Yes.
Okay, great. Well, again, thank you for joining us. Check us out on LinkedIn. We'd love to talk to you if you have any questions about large language models, graph RAG, knowledge graphs, and anything around all that. Thanks very much.